Coming up on The Charge on Air. The Black Student Union cancels meetings after serious allegations against ex-cabinet member arise.
Students and faculty share their thoughts on the TikTok tug-of-war and how its uncertainty affects students with small businesses.
How the Los Angeles wildfires continue to impact UCF alumnus and how they're rebuilding their lives.
In sports, freshman softball athletes are sliding into the season with a bang.
The Charge on Air starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to The Charge on Air. I'm Ethan Cates.
And I'm Kayla Kissel. Today is Friday, January 24th, 2025. On Monday, UCF's Black Student Union announced on Instagram that their semi-annual convocation was canceled following what they called serious allegations against an ex-cabinet member. Last week, the ex-cabinet member was removed from their position pending an investigation. On Saturday, BSU released a post on social media saying that instead of convocation, they will be hosting an open forum to educate attendees on how to identify and report sexual assault. However, just 2 hours before the event, they sent out another post stating that they had to cancel due to the legality and severity of the situation. The organization emphasizes that they are taking the allegations seriously and will reach out to leadership soon.
Following congressional and Supreme Court hearings, the popular video sharing app TikTok is facing a ban within the U.S. This week, I got the opportunity to dive deeper into what a TikTok ban could spell for the future of the social media landscape.
Following a January 19th blackout in the U.S., TikTok has been granted a 75-day extension to cut ties with its Chinese-owned parent company, ByteDance. Granted by President Donald Trump, the extension comes after the Supreme Court upheld a ruling that would ban the app within the U.S. The 5-year legal battle, spearheaded in 2020 by Trump himself, seems to be nearing an end. UCF politics professor Aubrey Jewett believes that a TikTok ban could spell danger for other social media companies, even U.S. ones.
Even for American-owned social media companies, this is a concern. Because if the precedent is set that they can be shut down because they're declared a security risk, then what else might be declared a national security risk? Right?
Professor Jewett believes that a full ban of TikTok will open the door to wider tech regulation within the U.S.
A full ban of TikTok has wider implications than just losing the app on your phone. For some, it's a place to commune with others, share their thoughts, or even express themselves. For a select few, it's even a main source of income.
Through features on the app like TikTok Shop and TikTok's Creator Fund, a steady income becomes possible. And for students like Clarissa Meredith, she can't see that happening on another app.
It's a livable platform if you do want to transition to just staying on social media. Whereas when it's banned, now, there's platforms like Instagram, but it is a lot slower. You can't really rely on that as your sole income.
With the continued threat of a ban looming over their shoulder, ByteDance has until April 4th to decide the fate of over 150 million American users. In Orlando, Ethan Cates, The Charge on Air.
To stay updated with the TikTok ban, you can find more on our website, thechargenews.com.
Many UCF alumni are feeling the effects of recent California fires. Charge on Air reporter Courtney McLean brings us accounts from those that are directly affected.
While the fires in California may seem worlds away from Florida, there are still impacts being seen closer to home. Many former UCF students have found themselves in or near Los Angeles dealing with the devastation firsthand. Tassie Hogan, a 2015 UCF graduate, was one of the first residents of the Pacific Palisades to be forced to evacuate, and she still remains displaced.
An emergency alert on my phone went off saying evacuate now. I think I was in the first evacuation zone. If not the first, I was certainly in one of the first evacuation zones. So, I panicked.
While they were only available on Zoom, their stories are still reaching us here in Central Florida. While many UCF students are in classrooms just like these, unaffected by the fires, many members of their UCF family are finding their lives completely disrupted.
While not all have had to evacuate, many will still experience daily life changes. UCF graduate Chelsea Knott is now fully working from home and wears a mask daily due to the current air quality.
I could see the Eden Canyon fire to my right, the Hollywood Hills, the Sunset fire, and then the Palisades fire. I could see all three of them happening. And so it was kind of surreal.
The California fires are still ongoing, and according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, over 40,000 acres have been burned and nearly 16,000 structures destroyed over this year. In Orlando, Courtney McLean, The Charge on Air.
Students can show support for those in California by donating to the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation and other organizations that are providing aid.
After the recent adoption of the 2025-2035 Campus Master Plan, some parts of UCF's Arboretum will be threatened with construction. Our co-anchor, Kayla Kissel, breaks down the plan to show you what's to come.
This is the Arboretum, a quiet sanctuary on the edge of UCF's busy campus. It's been around since 1983, and now part of it will be demolished. The 2025-2035 Campus Master Plan, a nearly 300-page document, includes UCF's vision for growth. Among its capital improvements are new facilities, a soccer stadium, parking lot, and tennis courts. But those plans overlap with areas mapped as home to endangered species, about 10 different plants and animals that depend on this land to survive. Ronald Brooke is an 81-year-old war veteran who moved next to the Arboretum in 1997. On December 5th, 2024, he spoke at a Board of Trustees meeting, and he says he is urging UCF to reconsider.
When you eradicate your conservation areas, you are absolutely doing the opposite of sustainability. Does anybody care? Typically what happens is nobody cares until it's done.
His speech lasted 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke.
The board took less than 10 seconds to unanimously approve the plan.
I would like to make a motion to adopt the 2025-35 Campus Master Plan.
I'm standing here on the land that is slated for future development here at UCF, and this is what it sounds like right now. Calm, peaceful, and full of life. And this is what it's going to sound like when UCF actually starts demolishing that land for construction to create things like new tennis courts, which, by the way, we already have on campus and at the USTA complex in Lake Nona.
Kristen Barger is an intern at the Arboretum Farm. When asked about her opinion regarding the plan's approval, she says she was disappointed.
It's always going to happen where there's people in power, they're likely not very informed or educated on certain things that they have the power to make decisions in, and it's truly an unfortunate thing.
I reached out to multiple UCF officials and received no response. So as the sound of chainsaws replaces birdsong, the question remains, what do we lose when progress overtakes preservation? In Orlando, Kayla Kissel, The Charge on Air.
For more information on the 2025-2035 Campus Master Plan, you can find it all on UCF's website. Hey guys, why did the thermometer go to college?
Why?
To get a degree.
All right, anyways, here's Armani with our current conditions.
Hi, you guys. So with cloudy skies, rain, and snow in some parts of Florida, some residents are grabbing their coats more than their sunglasses and turning our sunshine state pretty much into a surprise winter wonderland. We see that our current temperatures are 49 degrees here and humidity is 47%. Winds are going in the southwest direction with 8 miles per hour. And even though we did have some rain, we're looking at a 0% chance for today, but we'll check back on this later.
Coming up
on The Charge on Air, we're going to tell you about some of the weather.
We'll be right back.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Okay.
And we'd never babysit with a screen. We said we'd never let the toys take over.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight.
Skylar, come here.
Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
I got this. Yeah, but they're still bumping. So, how you feel about that weather, huh?
You know. It's a new year on the UCF campus, and with it comes some updates. The 4th floor of the library is still under construction and is expected to reopen in 2026. Parking lots B9, H3, and H4 are open for use again since its renovation last semester. Previously, registration for RSOs was temporarily paused during the fall semester for policy reviews, but now students hoping to form a club on campus will once again be able to.
UCF's Institutional Knowledge Management Report shows a decrease in the enrollment of black students. Reporter Armani Sloan spoke to students about the decline and where UCF could improve.
The enrollment of black students at UCF has declined by about 17% from fall 2020 to fall 2024, according to UCF's Institutional Knowledge Management site. The IKM site shows that UCF currently has roughly 69,000 students enrolled. Of that number, nearly 6,000 of them identify as African American. Christian Jones is a senior computer engineering major at UCF. He says a decrease could come from the elimination of UCF's Top 10 Nights initiative or the economy.
The economy is just kind of in the gutter right now. So students who may not get bright futures or heavy scholarship funding, UCF is a pretty big school and it's also pretty expensive, so they might be encouraged to apply to community colleges or other universities.
I'm standing at the Free Speech Lawn where many students gather for Black Wednesday, a time of unity for Black UCF students. While the decrease may be alarming, it could only be the beginning. While some students think COVID is still a factor, others think that cut in funding by Governor Ron DeSantis also creates an issue.
Tomiwa Aluko is a computer engineering major. He says that the exposure of online classes and cuts in funding by DeSantis are to blame.
Another reason why he cut, specifically in the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis placed rules and laws which have funded certain organizations.
UCF students are left with the question of whether or not this downward trend will continue. Students like Jones also say that Black students are finding stronger communities at HBCUs. In Orlando, Armani Sloan, The Charge on Air.
For more updates, visit thechargenews.com.
After being canceled last year due to Hurricane Milton, the annual Healthy Night Expo has stepped back in the student union as cold and flu season continues on. UCF Student Health Services and the Recreation and Wellness Center were just a few of the organizations at the event. These groups held booths to hand out goodies and inform students of the services that they had to offer. At the event, students were also able to get free flu shots and injury screenings. Peter Lee is a freshman, and he says the opportunity to get his flu shot on the spot is very helpful.
Yeah, I think this is helpful for the community, especially because it's so hard to go out of your way to get stuff like shots. Them offering it here at the student union is really beneficial.
Are peak times during the flu season. Students can still get their free flu shots at the health center from Monday through Friday until 4 p.m.
A new bill could make it easier for people to access mental health services. The Charge on Air reporter Andrew Sukdeo gives us a closer look at its benefits.
Florida ranks 40th in the country for access to mental health care. According to Mental Health America, House Bill 23 could possibly give more access to mental health patients that were otherwise having a rough time getting medication. Sean Bowser is a licensed master-level clinician in Florida who works individually with clients. He shares information about how the bill could give patients more access in the state of Florida.
Authority is something that is pretty difficult in terms of access for a lot of people, especially lower SES people. Because right now, when I have to refer clients for medication help, it's pretty much just do you have a PCP or an OBGYN?
This bill could be a game changer for the state of Florida, but what does the proposed bill do?
House Bill 23 was proposed this month. What it does is that it could give psychologists the ability to prescribe mental health drugs to their patients. This in turn could help Floridians have more access to mental health medication.
Maria Paula Espalati is a sophomore at UCF majoring in health sciences with a preclinical track, who shares her thoughts on why she's against this bill and the potential harms it could bring.
Let's say a psychologist prescribes an antidepressant to someone with undiagnosed bipolar disorder, they can actually trigger a manic episode.
The legislator will decide in March on if this bill will continue to be moved forward. In Orlando, Andrew Sukdeo, The Charge on Air.
For more details on how House Bill 23 could benefit you, visit floridasenate.gov. Well, for one, it's not raining, but we still have a chilly weekend ahead.
Yeah, we do. But in sports, we remember a former UCF athletics director who helped shape our sports programs into the Night Nation we know today. We'll be right back.
Generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now let's check in with student meteorologist Austin Green from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for a look forward at the national forecast.
Well, we have a few national weather headlines going into this weekend. First up, expecting one more round of cold air in the southeast. We are going to see some snow in the northeast and then potentially some rain for Southern California. So let's start first with what's going to be the last big blast of cold air for the southeast throughout this winter season. And notice this dip in the jet stream providing all that cold air from the Arctic. And again, that'll slide down through the rest of today and into tomorrow morning, Saturday morning rather. The other thing to note is once this system eventually moves out, the jet stream becomes much more zonal. The weather pattern will calm down and we will start to warm up here in the southeast. In terms of precipitation, the big areas to watch, again, the northeast going to see some snow. Down here in the southeast, things will clear out as high pressure works in. There's that snow through the Great Lakes. They could see some lake effect snow. And then notice over here for Southern California, as that area of low pressure moves off, they're going to have an opportunity to see some rain as well. Now for more on the local weather, UCF, back to you guys.
Thanks, Austin.
Now let's check in with our weather anchor Armani Sloan for a look at today's weather.
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon, Nights. So starting with the exciting news for today, we've seen some snow in North Florida. So it's been pretty chilly in the week for us. As we take a look at the current temperatures, we see that the Palm Coast is 48 degrees, with Gainesville being 46 degrees. Leesburg, we're looking at 47 degrees. And right here in Central Florida, we have 49 degrees, as well as Tampa. And then Winter Haven and Melbourne are sitting at an even 50 degrees. As we take a look at the 5-day weather, we see that the lows are the 40s to 50s, highs are going to be your 60s to 70s, with a low percentage of rain throughout the week. So even though we need to bundle up in the morning and those later nights, we do have a chance to kind of take those layers off and maybe not shiver as much. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you two at the desk.
Thanks, Armani. Coming up in sports, we remember Frank Rotter, former athletic director who helped shape the foundation of Knight Nation.
Plus, we're getting you a sneak peek of the upcoming softball season. We'll be right back.
Time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. One in 3 adults has prediabetes. And you could be one of them. There are usually no signs for prediabetes. So it's important to understand your risk. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Bring it.
Oh, he's on fire.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
But I've got to shoot how crazy it is at UCF right now.
I'm Grace Gedwar, your sports anchor. Let's take a look. Dr. Frank Rotter, UCF's first athletic director, is dead at 101. Rotter served as UCF, formerly Florida Polytechnic University's director from 1968 to 1974. A statement from current athletic director Terry Mahajar reads, "On behalf of UCF Athletics, I want to express our deepest condolences on the passing of Dr. Frank Rotter. His legacy will remain a pivotal role in young history." You can view the whole statement on ucfknights.com. UCF softball is ready to kick off a new season as 2025 comes to a start. The Charge on Air reporter Manuela Salinas tells us what to expect.
With the sound of the bat and the excitement of a new season approaching, two freshmen are already making waves for UCF softball. Pitcher Yesenia Lopez and infielder Coco Jaimes have both been named to the D1 Softball D100 Freshman Watch List, signaling big things ahead for the Knights.
I mean, it feels great. It feels nice, acknowledgement for the team, and just a lot of hard work put into this year with our class especially. So it's great to, now that we're getting things started, to be on anyone's watch list. We've worked really hard, so I'm just excited to see where it goes and now make it count.
The Knights are coming off a 41-17 season and an NCAA Regionals final run. But with most of last year's stand-up players graduating, the team is counting on a new wave of talent to keep the momentum going, including Lopez, who helped Puerto Rico win silver at the 2023 Pan American Games, and Jaimes, who shined at Riverside Poly High in California, earning 3 first-team All-League honors and 2 Golden Gloves. With Lopez dealing from the mound and Jaimes covering all the bases, UCF softball is entering the season with 2 incredible rookies whose impact will be closely watched as the Knights prepare to hit the field. As the season begins, Jaimes is ready to pull out the tricks up her sleeve.
I think, bringing a lot of different tools, having some fun on the field, using every tool in my toolbox to kind of be a little menace on the field, I would say, right? Have fun, bring some energy. Yeah, just be youthful.
Together, Lopez and Jaimes are ready to make big plays and help UCF softball swing for the fences this season. In Orlando, Manuela Salinas, The Charge on Air.
The season opener is set for February 6th. To stay updated on the team, be sure to visit ucfathletics.com. Last weekend, UCF's cheer team charged on to compete at the Universal Cheer Association's College Nationals. Charge on Air reporter Jaina Manhalal, more on what takes for the cheer team.
While your mornings may start like this,
the UCF cheer team starts their mornings off like this. In the weeks leading up to the Universal Cheer Association College Nationals, the UCF cheer team was leaving no stone unturned in their journey to win a championship title, a title they won just last year. Brian Cartier is the UCF head competition coach and says that this program is meant to prepare the athletes for their future.
Wherever you come from, like, this is what the real world's going to be like. And we want to prepare you for that, because when cheer is over, who are you? Like, what did you learn here? And you're not just disciplined in one aspect of your life.
And these athletes work hours on end to perfect their routines.
And it may be easy to stay up here all day long, but a lot of students, especially cheerleaders, need to stay grounded to balance school and practices.
Meet Allie Francie, a senior studying health sciences on a preclinical track. Allie spoke with me about how she handles both a busy cheer life and class load.
Honestly, when I go home from practice, it's straight to schoolwork. I try to stay as on top of my classes as possible, but it's really just a lot of time management and like having my priorities straight. So I would say just with the responsibility, making sure I do what I have to do.
I asked Allie if she could sum up her cheer experience in just a few words.
Honestly, yeah, life-changing. I've made like my best friends here. The coaches have been so amazing. Like seeing my personal development from my freshman year to now is honestly insane. Like I'm definitely not the same person anymore.
The Knights competed at ESPN Wide World of Sports and came home with 5th in the nation under traditionals and 3rd in the nation for game day. In Orlando, Jana Manahalal, The Charge on air.
You can catch the cheer squad at this season's basketball games. That's a wrap on sports as we wind down this Friday afternoon. Once again, I'm Grace Gedwar, your sports anchor. Now tossing it back to Kayla and Ethan at the desk.
That's our time for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, thechargenews.com.
You can also stay updated on UCF News by following us on Instagram at @thechargenews. Thanks for watching and have a great day.